On episode 50 of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we are going to be talking about the NBA and Stanley Cup Finals, the top 10 MLB City Connect jerseys, the ICC T20 World Cup, some MLB news and injuries, March of the week, and we're going to end it off with some Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? Roll it! Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. So game one of the NBA Finals has started, and the Celtics absolutely blew out the Mavs. Just overall, the Mavs in the first half couldn't sink a shot at all. They made practically no baskets. That whole that whole first half. Luka was definitely the MVP of at least the first half. And then the Celtics in the first half, Porzingis, he played only 21 minutes that whole game and dropped 20 points on them. He is the MVP of not only that game, but probably the whole series if he continues to play like he has been. He only played a third of the game and had the second most points out of the team. The first, obviously, Jaylen Brown, but he played 37 minutes. Tatum was doing good. He just he didn't put up as many points as I expected him to. Still 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists for game one. And for the Mavs, the best guy on the Mavs, like I said, carrying the whole team on his back is Luka Doncic. 30 points. He dropped 30 points in 38 minutes. But again, he was carrying the whole team on his back. The second most points were by Jaden Hardy. He only had 13 points and he only played 11 minutes. It wasn't. It was PJ Washington. He had 14 points and 36 minutes, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. So yeah, Mavericks not looking good except for Luka. Luka's looking really, really good. He's going to end up getting tired or hurt at some point. So like I said last podcast, and I still think it, the Celtics are going to win in game 1 and 2. The Mavs are going to win the must-win. It's going to be considered their must-win. Game 3, Celtics are going to kind of take a break for game 3. Let the Mavericks think that they're going to win, have them win that one game. And then the Celtics are going to come back strong, win game 4 and 5. A lot of people think Mavs in 6. A lot of people think Celtics in 6. But no, the Celtics are so good. So I've heard some people say Celtics in 4, which isn't a hot take at all. I could see the Celtics winning, just blowing the Mavericks out. They are absolutely unstoppable. But I was surprised. After the first half, I was surprised to see that the Mavs ended up dropping 89 points in game 1. But game 2 is tonight, June 9th, the day of this recording. So, I'll be excited to see what happens there. I think that the Celtics are still going to dominate the Mavs, especially after last game. I mean, game 1 was just horrible for the Mavs. I feel bad for Luka. I mean, he's on this team. Obviously, it's a really good team. They're in the finals for a reason. But, man, he's carrying the whole team on his back. What else? Yeah, and then for the Celtics, Porzingis, absolute stud. Was not expecting all that from him. He only played, like I said, 21 minutes. He had 6 rebounds. He didn't have any assists, but he had 20 points. Again, 20 points in 21 minutes. That ratio is unbelievable. And again, like I said, Jaylen Brown with 22 points. And who's after that? It looks like Jason Tatum was after that. Jason Tatum was doing good. He had 11 rebounds. He had the most rebounds. And a few guys had 5 assists. But it'll be interesting. I wonder if Tatum or any of them will get a triple-double at all this game. Or, sorry, not this game, this series. But like I said, that's it. Game 2's coming up in a few hours tonight. We have Celtics winning that game. And, again, we'll see. We'll see if the Mavs can even pull a win out at some point this series. But, yeah, looking good for the Celtics, not so good for the Mavs. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals started last night. The Panthers blew out the Oilers 3-0. Again, I don't know a whole lot. I watched it. I don't know a whole lot about hockey, though. But, yeah, let's see. The Oilers, obviously nobody scored. The Panthers, 3 guys scored. Again, 2, 3, 3 shots on goal for, I don't know how to say half these guys' last name. I watched a little bit of hockey, not too much, but I have the Panthers winning it all. Again, probably in 6. Panthers in 6. We'll see if the Oilers can pull one out in game 2 or 3 to hopefully close up the gap and hopefully at least score a goal. If you don't score a goal, it's a sign. You can't win if you don't score a goal, pretty much. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say. But, yep, think Panthers will win it all. And, yep. Panthers win 3-0 in Game 1. Game 2, I believe. When is Game 2? When is Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals? Game 2 is tomorrow. June 10th at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure to watch that. I think the Panthers will win that, but hopefully the Oilers can kind of catch up to the Panthers. I'm rooting for the Panthers, but I want a close series. I want a close matchup. What else do we got? That blew by those segments. The NBA, Caitlin Clark isn't on Team USA, the USA Olympics team for women's basketball. She did not make the roster, and it has a lot of people mad, especially Dave Portnoy, obviously a big Caitlin Clark fan. But if you look at her stats, there's 2 things I'm going to bring up. Number 1, absolutely phenomenal in college. Hands down the best college player we've seen in a long time. But WNBA is a little bit different. She had that 1-month gap where she wasn't playing any basketball, but I'm sure it was a busy month for her. But the Fever, obviously she plays on the Fever, again, second to worst team in the WNBA. They are 3-9, but they've played 12 games. There are some teams that have only played 8. So maybe they're too tired. Maybe that's, I know Caitlin Clark was saying that her body physically and mentally wasn't ready for all these games and that they just need some rest. But Caitlin Clark on the season, she's played 12 games. She's averaging 33 minutes per game with 16 points per game. Let's see some others. She's averaging around 5 rebounds per game and 6 assists per game with 1 to 2 steals a game with not even a block a game and again 5.5 turnovers per game. But if you're looking at those stats in an Olympic team, you're the best in your country. Does she deserve it? Again, maybe. Has she played enough to deserve it? I know it's not just WNBA, but it'll be. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm figuring out, like, are they kind of going off of the college? Because obviously, when you think of Caitlin Clark, you think of her college stats, which again, you can be in college and make the Olympic team. But if they're looking at these WNBA stats, yeah, it kind of makes sense why she didn't make the Olympics team. But again, next year, I guess not next year. In 4 years, we'll see if how she does in the WNBA. Maybe she's just a bust in the WNBA. But again, I do think a big problem with that, her not making the team and her stats being as low and not as high of standards as everybody thought that they would be, is because the Fever, again, they've played 12 games while some teams have only played 8 or maybe even 7. I don't think any team's played 7. But the Sun they're in first. They've played 10 games. They are 9-1, and the Fever have to win. I mean, I don't often talk about the WNBA. I watch minimum a game or 2 a week, maximum probably 3 or 4 games a week. I don't watch WNBA often, but I've been watching the Sun and obviously the Fever a lot. And again, the Sun are doing really, really well for themselves. Obviously, they're the best team. And then the Fever down below with Caitlin Clark trying to live up to her standards. They're not doing well at all. Like I said, they've won 3 games. They've lost 9. There's over 7 games back in the East. And again, they're not doing good in their conference. They're 2-5 in their conference, but in the Western Conference, they must be 1-5 or 1-4 then. So just not good for the Fever. I know that's not how drafts work, but I wish that Caitlin Clark would have been drafted to a better team. Maybe that would have helped her with her chances again with this big USA Olympic, her not making the Olympics team. But who knows? But yeah, that is our WNBA stats. And again, like I said, we are flying through this. City Connects. So MLB in the last few seasons have come out with some City Connect uniforms. Some have been really, really good, really, really popular. Others, not so much. I'm honestly a big fan of most of the City Connects, but today I will be ranking the top 10 MLB City Connect jerseys. And there's a lot. I had to go through a lot of teams, and yeah, there might be some that I missed, and there might be some that I think that others think that are really good that I think that should be down on the list. But let me see where. Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm just going to pull up all the jerseys so I can see them while looking at these rankings. Here we go. Again, just trying to pull up a picture real quick. All right, so the Dodgers City Connect uniform hasn't officially come out yet. Again, there's been a lot of leaks. You see the Los Angeles, people think that it looks like Pop-Tarts. If you look at how the jersey would look with the pants that I'm thinking of like the same kind of pants. I posted it on our Twitter, so go look at our Twitter. I posted it on there. How it looks clean, but we saw a month or so ago, we saw like a leak of the jersey, and then just recently in the last few days we saw a leak of some modifications. You see the 42 for Jackie Robinson, and on the back you see the numbers, and the name is actually on the bottom, like under the numbers, and the numbers are kind of like cut off at the bottom. I saw Mookie Betts, but nothing has officially been announced for the Dodgers, but I don't mind it. A lot of people are hating on it. A lot of people are saying Pop-Tarts, whatever, but I'm not hating on it. Again, it's not going in our rankings because, again, it's not an official City Connect uniform yet. I think in the next coming weeks, or maybe I'm hoping before the All-Star break that they come out with a good City Connect, because our last ones were absolutely horrible. The Los Dodgers, that Los Dodgers hat, just not it. And the logo they're kind of looking for the LA, and then it has, I'm not a big fan of that LA logo with it has like a little spike at the end, like a little tooth, it kind of looks like. But at number 10 we have the Braves. We have the Atlanta Braves City Connect, and like I said, I meant to do this earlier. Pull up. I'm gonna pull up and see what some like rankings or something. If this computer loads. Okay, so yeah, again at 10 we have the Braves. Here we go. I'm gonna have to scroll a little bit here. It might take some time, so sorry if I'm pausing. Here we go. So the Braves, it debuted earlier last season. It's supposed to go after like Hank Aaron. That was like the inspiration for the design, was the Hank Aaron kind of era. The look is an update. Of the Braves uniform from the 1974 season, the year Hank Aaron passed Babe Ruth as the baseball all-time home run king. So yeah, that's at the number 10. Some might argue that it would be higher on the list, but again, it's maybe I've seen it too much because it's been a couple years. But again, I like it. I like where it's going. Again, it's top 10, but it's just not there. At number 9, a lot of people might argue the Brew Crew, the Brewers jersey. I really like it. I like the simple design. They took obviously the Brewers' nickname is the Brew Crew, and they put it on the chest. And yeah, I like it. I like how they have the light blue and yellow colors. I like the hats, the helmets. I like everything about the thing. Some might say it would be lower on the list. Some might say it might be a little bit higher. But no. At number 9 we have the Brewers. At number 8 we have the Mets. Recently came out. It has that like purple and gray kind of New York feeling. You could tell it has the NYC on the on the chest. Let's see if this thing's updated. A lot of these websites aren't updated for the newer jerseys, but we are about to find out. Yeah, here we go. So the Mets, the inspiration is obviously from the what is it called? The Queensboro Bridge, which connects Manhattan to Queens, and that's what on the hat, there's that bridge that kind of goes under the logo and through the logo. I like the purple. I like that 1 second, where'd it go? Yeah, so they pay homage to New York subway stations with multiple design elements, most specifically purple flourishes representing the 7 line. So the purple you kind of see on like the outlines a little bit. I like it. I like that. It reminds me of the Yankees jerseys a little bit. I know it's a darker gray on these City Connects, but I like it. That is why they deserve the 8th spot. And number 7, we have the Red Sox. We have the Boston Red Sox. Again, I like the colors. I like the design. It debuted a couple years ago. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. So the design inspiration, the no red, instead the team went with a yellow and blue color combo. That's for the Boston Marathon. There's also a sleeve patch featuring Fenway's Park, 617, the area code. And I like it. I like how they went for the Boston Marathon. Again, that's what the City Connect's all about. It's connecting cities. And obviously Boston Marathon and the Boston Red Sox both have to do with the cities. And they didn't go for like the red and dark blue how they usually do. And I like the color matching. I like the font. I like a lot about these jerseys. I like pretty much every jersey. There are some that are horrible, but most of these jerseys I like a lot. At number 6, you have the Padres. And the Padres, again, I hate the Padres as a team. I don't like the Padres as a team. But as the City Connect, I like the color scheme. I like the design, the inspiration for the design. The bold departure from their regular uniforms mixes iconic California imagery with the vibrant colors of the Baja Peninsula. Again, I like what they did. It's kind of like giving since it's kind of south by Mexico, like a Mexican kind of theme, if you will, with the color combination, the yellow, pink, and green. But again, I like it. A lot of people don't like it, but yeah, it's not for everybody. It's distinct and colorful. So yeah, I like it. At number 5, we have the White Sox from the South Side. I really like how they added the South Side. And like I said, a lot of people are hating on. But again, the White Sox, not bad. I'm trying to find all of these I did it earlier yesterday and today. Look at these, but just to kind of get a refresher on the design portion. But the first of the Chicago City Connects takes cues from the city's Greystone agriculture style, as well as hip-hop and youth culture, highlighted by the Gothic South Side across the chest to represent the team's long history of calling that part of hometown. So obviously, like I said, the White Sox are on the south side of Chicago. And again, when you hear the announcers obviously talking about it and where they are in the south side of Chicago. And I like how they kind of bold that. The design, I like the font, don't get me wrong. The S is kind of like the Kraken font for the NHL. But again, black with stripes. It's given like the Met City Connect and the Yankees uniforms, just that kind of style. But I don't mind it. At number 4, we have you know what I'm missing? You know what I'm missing? I am missing the Phillies uniform. I really like the Phillies uniform, and that I forgot to add that to the list. So you know what we're going to do? This is my list. This is my list. I make the rules. We are switching it out. Sorry, Red Sox. We are switching out the Red Sox for the Phillies. They went for the blue and yellow colors are inspired by the city's flag, and the blue collar of the jersey is meant to represent what the Phillies say is Philadelphia at its core, a blue-collar big city with a small-town feel. I like the design of it. I like the gradient, the light blue to the dark blue at the bottom. I like the font. I like the hats. I like the patches. I like the yellow, light blue, and dark blue combination, how they put it together. So you know what? We are crossing off the Red Sox from the list and putting in the Phillies at the 7. And yeah, with the patch, it says the love with the L, and then the O is the bell, and the V and E. It's a little weird font, but you know what? I like that. I'm sorry, the Red Sox. I like the Red Sox, but you got to go. You got to fill room in for the Phillies. So at number 4, the Rays. They went for the Devil Rays kind of look. Again, it's a City Connect. The Rays are actually in St. Petersburg. It's like a small island. It's like an island off of Tampa, but Yeah, they're coming out with a new stadium. They're making a whole new stadium, but they use elements to highlight the unconventional nature of their organization, leaning into the skateboarding culture in Tampa Bay. With one or more notable decals of the City Connect series, a race executing a stalefish skateboard trick on the inside next to the whatever. I like the Devil Rays feeling about it. They could say all they want about Tampa. They're like 45 minutes away from Tampa. You can't really say you're in a city and make a City Connect about Tampa if you're not in Tampa. But I like the design that they went with it. And yeah, I like it's bright colors. You know a Rays jersey, a Devil Rays jersey when you see it, and that is what it reminds me of. At number 3, we have the Miami Marlins. Again, Florida coming in clutch. It really does remind me of Miami. 1 second, again, let me scroll down here. That's San Diego. But is Miami not on here? Yeah, here it is. So Miami's Cuban population is celebrated with the uniform inspired by the Sugar Kings, a AAA team that played out of Havana, Cuba from 1954 to 1960. The sleeve patch uses the original Sugar Kings logo with an MM added to the crown. I like the design. Again, Miami has huge Cuban population, like a Dominican population. It has all those like islands below Florida. It has a huge population of all of those, and I like how they connected that into the jerseys with the red, with the white stripes, and then it says Miami in a nice like font that's white and kind of a shadow blue, and the hats are blue. So yeah, Miami gets the number 3 spot, and again, a team that I don't like at all is the Houston Astros. They're absolutely horrible this season. But you know what? And what we're talking about looks of jerseys, how it connects to the city. The Astros they're runner-up, but they did a great job with their jerseys. The space sitting, when it first came out, I was like, I don't want to buy the jersey, but it's tempting me to buy the jersey. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of orange the color in general, but how they put it in the jerseys with the belt and with the backs with the number and name. It's just overall a great design. The font for Space City is absolutely amazing. Obviously, Houston, we have a problem. NASA has a big space station in Houston, and in Cape Canaveral in Florida. But they did a great job with it. They did a great job connecting the city with kind of the orange and blue colors of the Astros. It just looks like a more modern or more futuristic version of the Astros as a logo and as a franchise. The Astros lean into Houston's most well-known explores NASA with many elements, mostly with the Space City name across the chest, with the team called a space-inspired font, which, again, it's a futuristic font. It's a futuristic jersey. I love the jerseys a lot. Again, not so much the team. It's a jersey thing. And then at number 1, again, they would be number 1 on no other list besides this list, but the Colorado Rockies have a great jersey. Some might say it might be lower on the list, but on mine, they are number 1. 1 second, let me scroll down to them. Here we go. So, obviously, the Rocky Mountains, they have the mountains on it. The Rockies turned their uniforms into baseball jersey adaptation of Colorado's license plate. So it looks exactly like their license plate. If you compare their jerseys to their license plate, it looks really good. I like the mountains. I like the green. I like how the whole design is with the numbers and the hats. It's just everything about it. It's good. It goes all the way around to the back of the jersey. They have the mountains on the back of the jerseys with their, in between their numbers. Everything about it, it's super clean, it's super good. They didn't do too much with it, but they did enough to connect with the city, and so much the state of Colorado. And again, the license plate is where they got their inspiration from. But it is a great jersey. That is why it deserves the number 1 spot. And again, a lot of people might argue against that. But you know what? This is my list, not yours. If you want to make a list, DM us, email us, DM us on social media, whatever, and we'll see your list. And we might feature your list on future podcasts. But that was a lot of talking. Now my throat is dry. But we are moving on to a segment that I have never talked about. I've discovered this sport in around the 2017 year, and I've been watching here and there ever since. But in the last year, I have been really not really into it. I've been watching more and more of it and really understand how it develops and how it plays and how simple and the strategies of the game is. And it is now here in the USA. And you're probably like, Isaiah, just tell us, what is this about? It's the ICC T20 World Cup. It is happening here in the USA. All the other cricket matches are usually played at like 4:30 a.m. In the U.S., and it's just struggling, so you don't get out of your way to wake up to watch cricket. But now that it's here in the U.S., I've been following it a lot more. Again, like I said, I've kind of known about the sport since 2017. But again, if it's on, I'll watch it. If not, I'm not going to go out of my way again to wake up at 4:30 every morning to wake up to watch cricket. But basically what T20 cricket is, T20 is like a separate, not league, but it's a separate play. So there's T50 and T20. The T50 version is 50 overs. It takes like 6 hours to play. It's super long. But the T20 is only 20 overs. And basically what an over is, in baseball terms, is 6 pitches. So it's 6 deliveries. But again, in baseball terms, it's 6 pitches. There's 6 pitches, and there's 20 of those per team. And basically what it's like is there's like a halftime. So a whole team bats the 20 overs. So 120 deliveries, pitches, and basically after that they score as many runs as they can, and then there's like a little halftime, and then the other team does it, and they get to either 20 overs, or if they get more than the first team's runs, they win. So basically what you do is there's a pitcher who sprints up to a line, throws a ball, chucks it at the ground, and again, they're spinning the strategy, and they try to hit a wicket. And what a wicket is basically the strike zone, but instead of a strike zone, it's an automatic out. It's an automatic out. So if they hit the wicket, they hey, 1 second. Hey. Yeah. One second. Sorry, a wicket is basically an out. So if the pitcher pitches it and the batter can't hit it and it hits one of these 3 sticks, lights usually fall off and there's a sound meter so you can hear if it hits it or not. And that's an out. And basically that means that player is out of the game for good until they move on to defense or whatever. And then you wasted one of your guys and you wasted one of your outs. So then it goes back. It goes. You basically, if the batter hits it. Again, this is kind of a bad way of explaining it, but if the batter hits it, 2 batters run back and forth between 2 different poles, pretty much, and it's a run per pole. If you hit it and it rolls past like the boundary, it's like a circle, so there's no foul lines. It's a full 360 circle. If it rolls past that, it's worth 4 points. If it goes over the fence, pretty much, it's basically a home run. It's worth 6 runs, and again, they get. And the one that's being played in the U.S. is T20, so they get 120 pitches, 20 overs, 6 pitches or deliveries per over. And so, yeah, you score as many as you can. Then you basically switch teams, you switch sides. So instead of 9 innings, it's basically 1 inning, but with a ton of pitches, and it's more than 5 minutes per half inning. But then after that, the next team hits and does the same exact thing, and whoever has the most runs at the end wins. So again, it's a quicker version than the T50, but the U.S. played Pakistan in one of these games. The whole reason why I explained that was the U.S. played Pakistan in one of these games, and Pakistan should not have, the U.S. should not have won at all. Pakistan was favored by a lot. Now, the U.S. team is filled with a few Pakistani players that just didn't make the Pakistan team. And how the U.S. won, again, the U.S. should not have won at all. It's one of the biggest upsets in U.S. history in years. But, yeah, like I said, the U.S. were just taking advantage of scoring opportunities. And that's what MLB teams need to understand, too, is like they need to, obviously they tried their best. Oh, there you go. I just realized I didn't do that. But they took advantage of scoring opportunities in that game when Pakistan may have scored 1 run in a certain hit ball. The U.S. may have scored 3. So yeah, that is how the U.S. ended up beating Pakistan in that game. Again, the U.S. isn't going to win at all. Pakistan, I believe it's Pakistan and India is playing today. They're big rivals right now. So at the time of this recording, they were filming. I know they started this morning. I don't know if the game's finished or not. I could check it. But that is like a huge rivalry. And again, it's playing in the U.S. with times that we are adjusted to. And so yeah. Sorry. Oh, man. So 1 second. Sorry, lost train of thought. So, yeah, the U.S. beat Pakistan. Pakistan's playing India. Biggest rivals. It's like the Yankees and Red Sox. It's bigger than that. They're playing this game on Long Island in New York, and they have Citi Field, the Mets Stadium, completely sold out just to watch it, just to put it on the Jumbotron. Mets can't sell a lot of their games, and they sold out the stadium just to watch this Pakistan and India cricket match going on now. So, again, at the time of this being published and stuff, the match will already be done. But again, if you're not into cricket, I would strongly suggest you get into it for the next few weeks while they're playing in the U.S. again. And they're in times where you're awake. When they're playing across the country, it's like very, very early in the morning or very, very late at night. So, I highly suggest that you get into cricket. It's really fun to watch. It's it's a game. I promise you won't regret it. It's pretty easy to figure out. It's just like baseball. But again, go watch cricket if you don't already. Now, for some MLB news, Kyle Tucker was placed on the IL with right shin contusion. White Sox are... okay, so there's your IL update. The White Sox are trying to get their worst player, Martin Maldonado, on the All-Star game. So as you all know, the All-Star game is coming up. I did my voting. I'll explain my voting here in a second. But the White Sox, every team gets at least one player in the All-Star pool to get to play in the All-Star game, or the All-Star roster, sorry. And the White Sox are obviously the horrible team, so they're trying to get the worst player on the team, which is Martin Maldonado, who's batting like .074 or something. He's batting .074. He only has 95 95 at bats. He only has 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and a batting average of .074 with the on-base percentage of .129 with an OPS of .245. And the White Sox are petitioning. The White Sox fans are petitioning to vote him. So so we did our own All-Star voting from National League, for National and American League, and I'm gonna name them off for you right now. Now, usually for the National League team, on a personal level, I just pick all the Dodgers because, of course, I want to see all these Dodgers. The Dodgers played all this money to get all these players. I want to see them in an All-Star game, and then American League, I'll vote for whoever I think should make the team. But you know what? I get paid for these hard decisions. So as the president of HatTrick Sports, I get paid for these hard decisions, and I had to go through the National League and actually pick the people who deserve to be in the All-Star game. It hurts me. I'm not doing this on a personal level, but from a business perspective. So here we go. We're going to name them off. So at first base for the National League, we have Freddie Freeman. At second base, we have Luis Arias. At third base, we have Alec Boehm. At shortstop, we have Mookie Betts. And outfield, this one guy might make a little bit of controversy, but how he's been playing against the Yankees, one of the best teams in the league right now. He's been absolutely great in the last few weeks, and overall he's been phenomenal with the Dodgers so far. But Teoscar Hernandez, congratulations for being in the HatTrick 2024 All-Star roster. We have Jurickson Profar. He's been an absolutely stud from He was a bust 10 years ago, but now he's all of a sudden coming up. And we have Christian Yelich, who, again, in 2017, 2018 kind of time against Cody Bellinger for the MVP race, he's coming back. He's super underrated, but he's coming back. For the catcher for the NL, we have Wilson Contreras. Some might say William Contreras, but, not William Contreras. We have Wilson Contreras catching for the NL, and for the designated hitter coming in at $700 million for a 10-year contract. Give it up for Shohei Ohtani. We have all of the MV3s on here: Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani. So shout out to the NL All-Star roster for the 2024 All-Star team. There we go. That's enough for them. Now on the AL sides, we have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for first base, Jose Altuve for second base, Rafael Devers for third, Gunnar Henderson for shortstop. Aaron Judge, absolutely stud so far this season, 20-plus home runs. He's doing absolutely phenomenal. He's in the outfield alongside his co-worker Juan Soto, and then Julio Rodriguez making the third spot in the outfield for the AL. And then catching, you have Adley Rutschman, and designated hitter batting over 400 right now, Josh Jung. Again, last season he did absolutely great. This season, again, he's a little bit underrated, but he deserves to be in that all-star roster. So there is your all-star team, your HatTrick Sports all-star roster for the 2024 season. All right, on to merch of the week. Merch of the week. I've just picked out a random shirt that we had last minute, but we have 3, 2, 1. Let's have some fun when you're in a 3-2 count with 1 out aim. Swing the bat, have some fun, or hey, you could take it and take the walk. There's so many possibilities you can do. It's one of the best counts in the league. So 3, 2, 1. Let's have some fun. There's just so much stuff going on in your head. Is he going to throw a strike? Where's it going to be? Is he going to hit it? Is he going to strike out? There's so many possibilities in a 3, 2, 1 count. So let's just have some fun in a 3, 2, 1 count. So shirts now available at shophattricksports.com. You can get yours today at shophattricksports.com. Like I said, use code TikTok30 for 30% off, Insta20 for 20% off. And again, it's a great shirt, comfortable, affordable apparel. Like I said, it was $24.99. It's not that expensive. Again, if you use the discount codes, it can be really, really cheap. And get yours. And get all the other merch that we have up on the website. We have more than a dozen shirts up. Hoodies, hats, boys, girls, pink, blue, white, pink, blue, white, like a tan color. We have all sorts of different designs and stuff. So get yours, shophattricksports.com. And we are on to my favorite segment, Hall of Fame, Yay or Nay. All right, for today's Hall of Fame, yay or nay, I spun a wheel. I found like a wheel with like 100 different players that could potentially be in the Hall of Fame. Javier Baez, we may have already done him. I'm not sure. I was too lazy to go back and check. He's a 2-time All-Star. He won Gold Glove. He obviously won the World Series in 2016, and he won Silver Slugger. 1 second. Oh, sorry about that. This year, he's not been good at all. We're not even halfway through the season, and he's had a negative 1.2 wins above replacement. He's had over 186 at-bats. Oh, man. He has 1 home run and 34 hits in those at-bats with a batting average of 183. Better than Martin Maldonado, but again, not looking good this season. Now, overall in his career, again, he debuted. When he debuted? Must have been 2015, 2016. Debut. He got drafted in 2011, and why doesn't it show his debut? 1 second, looking for his debut. 2014. He debuted in 2014 in the MLB. He played 52 games then. And since then, he's had a WAR of 25.1 wins above replacement with over 4,200 at-bats, over 1,000 hits, over 175 home runs, with a batting average of 252 with 588 runs, 616 RBIs, 108 stolen bases with an on-base percentage of 294. Was a .438 slugging and a .732 OPS and a 95 OPS plus. So he was good. He was really good. What did he lead the league in? And he's led the league in RBIs with 111 in 2018, and then in stolen bases in 2021 with 184. But again, he didn't lead the league in too many stuff. He came in second in MVP voting in 2018. But if you're not the best at one time, what makes you the greatest of all time? What makes you in that in the Hall of Fame? What the Hall of Fame is the greatest of all time. And if you're not the greatest at 1 year in time, what makes you the greatest of all time? So unless he turns his career around, which I don't think he is, I think he's towards the end of his career. He's 31 years old. It's a nay for me. It's a nay. Javier Baez, as of right now, and I don't think he ever will be, is a nay for the HatTrick Sports Hall of Fame and in the MLB Hall of Fame. We'll see what happens in the next 10 years or so if he gets in or not, but it's a nay. But I think that is it. Thank you guys for watching episode 50 of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. The last 50 episodes have been great. Can't wait to do more. But you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube for all the visuals. You can go to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter for all sorts of stuffs, reports, anything you want. Go to Shop HatTrick Sports. Again, use TikTok 30 for 30% off, and it's a 20 and the discount codes for those percentages off. And we will see you guys next week for episode 51.